Yeah, what's happening? It's your boy B, the Aristotle Hip Hop. I'm here to, I'm here to prove that Jay-Z is a motherfucking cop. And when I say cop, I ain't talking about some cat that's walking around the streets in a uniform, pulling people over. Nah, he ain't that type of cop. He working with the boys, man. He working with the feds, pretty much. You know what I mean? So here it go. Let's start off with the largest police stations in the world are the United States media outlets. They imprison the minds of people on a daily basis in order to work an agenda of an underworld government. You see, the word entertainment is synonymous with the word distraction. And the United States media outlets are gurus at entertaining Americans by creating a diversion that will keep them further from the truth. They want to keep you away from the truth. They don't want you to touch it. They don't want you to feel it. They don't even want you to see it. You know what I mean? Because when you have that encounter with the truth, you know what's real. You can decipher what's real and what's not. But brewing their pot of evil and racial stew by stirring up every community, the wicked witches of media have used this power of influence to overtake the American public once again with this George Zimmerman case. I mean, it came in directly after the NBA Finals and quickly took over the airways. It all started, like any other case. It starts in a small subdivision. What was it? The retreat at Twin Lakes in Sanford, Florida. And no doubt it was a high-profile case because a child was murdered in cold blood. But the mockery, the buffoonery that was surrounded by this case just made the situation a complete disgrace. This case was not about justice. Shout out to my nigga Kel too. This case was not about justice. It was strictly about money, TV ratings, big commercials, heavy publicity, and everybody got paid. Mama got paid for trademarking her son's name and image. The All-Star Witness got a full scholarship. Jurors got booked. I mean, since when have you known a juror to need an agent? Really? Come on, young. I ain't trying to hear that. Everybody got broke off over this boy's life. And I ain't even mentioned the $1 million lawsuit that his family won in a wrongful death case. I'm saying against the retreat at Twins Lake complex. When you look at it, man, it's just completely preposterous what went down. But that's just small talk compared to the artillery of Jedi mind tricks the media used to keep us distracted from the most prevalent story of the year. Allow me to direct your attention back to Egypt and the coup that conveniently took place in the background of a trial where it had no business. The coup should have been on the forefront. Everything should have been talked about. In the midst of all this George Zimmerman racket, your president ordered the removal of Mohamed Morsi. But we watching. We watch Rochelle Gentle's quote-unquote ignorant testimony that got her a full scholarship from Tom Joyner to any HBCU in the country. This is crazy. On June 30th, Mohamed Morsi was removed from his presidency, and now he's replaced by Aldi Mansour. As a person of African descent, someone who studies the history of our people, an alarm went off in my head, because it's serious business when you say that you just threw the president out. Like, no, we're gonna lock this motherfucker up. He ain't doing his job. He just been in there for a year. They ain't lock Obama up because he won't doing his job. But Morsi was supposedly down with Obama, so it kind of threw me off. He was supposed to be down with Obama and the Muslim Brotherhood, which means he should have been protected. We're going to take it one step further. You know what I'm saying? Morsi was defiant. It's crazy because I didn't expect for it to be as big as it was. To me, it's a big deal because it's dealing with the Nile River. And everybody knows the Nile River is the river that flows from south to north Africa. It's a very special river to everyone of African descent because for centuries our ancestors survived off of this before any other person on this planet was even thought of. So just a little history lesson connecting with the Nile River, Boom, you got the Nile River. Now on this side of the spectrum, you got the Rothschild family, which is probably the most powerful family on this planet, without a doubt. But they weren't always called the Rothschilds. They changed their name to Rothschilds. And the word Rothschild means red shield. It's a German word. Rothschild is red shield in German. And the red shield is the same thing as the Jewish Star of David, which is on the Israeli flag. Now, what does Israel have to do with this? We're going to find out in a minute. But like I said, the Israeli flag, the flag of Israel, is the same flag of the Rothschild family. Rothschild means red shield, which is the Star of David. Same thing. So the Rothschilds are Israel. Period, point blank. Pretty much. Look it up. This is information that you can find out. Okay, let's get down to the nitty gritty. Israel has been trying to get their hands on the waters of the Nile River for decades. It's been years and years and years and years and years before I was even born. Because there's nothing great in Israel. There's nothing ancient about it. I read a report in the Al Jazeera from the lovely Soraya Sipafor Uric, and she said in 1978 President Anwar Sadat wrote a letter to the Israeli Prime Minister promising him that Nile water would go to Jerusalem. Now, after him came Mubarak. Mubarak is the last president of Egypt before Mohamed Morsi. Mohamed Morsi just came in last year on June 30th, 2012. Mubarak published reports indicating that Israeli experts were helping Ethiopian experts to plan 40 dams along the Blue Nile. Crazy. 40 dams. These dams were supposed to take the waters from the Nile River to Israel, into Jerusalem, period. Because they need that. The ancient Nile Valley is the beginning of civilization, and they need the Nile River to run through Jerusalem, which is supposed to be the beginning of civilization. Okay. I don't know how much more clearer to make it. On May 30th of this year, Mohamed Morsi threatened Ethiopia. He said, y'all better stop building them damn dams. He said, stop the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam on the Blue Nile. We will protect Egypt. We will protect the waters of Egypt. The dam had the potential to stop the water that flowed through Egypt, period. Then on June 3rd, it was reported from a meeting that Mohamed Morsi had with his associates, with his constituents, with the people that work for him, the people that work in the Egypt government. That and this ad live on TV. He said, "Imagine what 80 million of us would do to Israel and America if our water was turned off." Crazy. This is just on June 3rd. So, with all that being said, we had a coup that took place, a war threat from Egypt, and it was never spoken of amongst our people because a story of less significance, but was purposely blown out of proportion to disturb our peace, was in our sights. The only thing that we really talked about was the George Zimmerman case. This is much more serious than the George Zimmerman case. You talking about somebody that want to blow our ass up, and this ain't even. Come on, man. So let me explain what I'm trying to say. The distractions are what imprison our minds. An imprisonment of the mind is the worst type of confinement on this planet. The people who have the power to speak on worldly issues are celebrities like Jay-Z, the so-called king of hip-hop culture, who also serves as a distraction as if he's employed by the media. You know? In other words, we call people like Jay-Z cops. A cop is used to enforce a policy, otherwise known as a police officer, a policy officer. In the midst of the NBA Finals, halftime of Game 5 to be exact, here comes Jay-Z with an unanticipated album release. And so conveniently was released just a few days after Morsi was ejected, and also released in the middle of the George Zimmerman trial. Damn, his ass is good. He's a good cop. He's working for them people, man. The media are like the feds, and the celebrity are like the cops. The celebrities are like the cops to help them cover up the truth, like the skin of a liposuction victim. These are the people that have the power to speak to a generation of people, and they will listen. Instead, they use their power to distract them to think that every day is party time, pretty much. You know? Somebody like Kanye West, although his last album was somewhat of an effort to bring awareness to, I guess, socialism and apparent racism movement, it still doesn't cover up the fact. I still cannot refute the fact that his position in the hip-hop community is to work as a policy officer too. All of these people are policy officers. They are distracting our minds from the truth. I don't know, man. Aristotle with hip-hop, man. I spoke on it. Jay-Z a cop. These motherfuckers is cops. We out, man.